Hello students, welcome to Time Online Classes. In this session, we are going to discuss circular arrangement puzzle, and within that circular arrangement puzzle, when it is some are facing inward and some are facing outward. This is one of the very important models in bank PO exams. Here we come across cases. There may be a question where they specify the number of persons facing the center, or they may not specify. It says that 4 are facing the center and 4 are facing away from the center. And in some cases, they simply say that some are facing the center, some are facing away from the center. When it says some are facing center and some are facing away, that becomes a little more complicated. So we will discuss that case where we are not given how many are facing center and how many are facing away from the center. Before we discuss the actual puzzle, we will quickly go through the basics of circular arrangement. What happens in a circular arrangement? The people, we assume that they are evenly distributed. That is, people are evenly distributed around the table. This statement generally is not given in the puzzle, but that is how it has to be considered. Evenly distributed around the table. What do we mean by evenly distributed around the table? It means that if there are 8 persons, we should not take all the 8 at one place like this. Okay? Evenly distributed in the sense, we have to take them at equal distances. That is, let us say we are talking about 8 persons sitting around the table. So we take the 8 portions like this: 1, 2, exactly opposite, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this person is opposite this person is exactly opposite this person, like this. If there are 6 persons, we take it this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is one pair of opposite person, this is another pair, and this is a third pair. If there are, let us say, 5 persons, then the persons will not be opposite each other. If there are 5 persons, we take it this way: 1 here at equal distances, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 5 here, like this. There will be no one opposite this person, there will be no one opposite this person, there will be no one opposite this person, there will be no one opposite this person. When there are even number of persons, every person would be exactly opposite another person. When there are odd number of persons, the situation of opposite does not arise. That is one point. The next point is, here left and right. What do we mean by left and right in circular arrangement? And here we have to consider, when nothing is given, whether the persons are facing the center or facing away from the center. If that information is not given, we consider that everyone is facing the center. Okay? Now look at this. Now let us say there are 6 persons. Assume that they are all facing the center. This is all facing center. Now when they are facing the center, For this person, this is right side and this is left side. Now, if you look at the circle, if you assume that this is a clock, this side is nothing but anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction. And left is clockwise direction. So it is the same for any person, wherever the person is sitting, as long as the person is facing the center of the table. Now for this person, this will be his left. This is clockwise direction. So this direction is clockwise, like this. And this direction is anti-clockwise. Okay. So for a person, wherever the person is sitting, as long as the person is facing the center of the table, right is anti-clockwise direction and left is clockwise direction. So for here, which is the left, we have to check into this is the clockwise direction, which is right in the anti-clockwise direction. For this person, this is left, that is right, like that. Okay. If the persons are facing away from the center, so what will happen if they are facing away from the center? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All facing away from the center. All facing away from the center. So all these people are facing this direction. So they are all facing exactly the opposite of direction of this. So what will happen to the left and right? This person is facing this direction. Now for him, this would be left and this would be right. And if you consider this person, for him this is going to be right and this is going to be left. Now look at the situation. This is right side of this person, this is right side of this person, this is the right side of this person, this is the right side of this person. So now what will happen in this case? Right is clockwise direction. And this will be the left of each of these persons. So left is anti-clockwise. Right is clockwise and left is anti-clockwise. Now let us say some are facing the center and some are facing away from the center. Now when we do not know which direction that person is facing, now some facing center and some facing away from the center. Okay. Now let me draw the circle again. Okay. Now here, let us say some 8 persons are sitting around the table. P is sitting here, Q is here, R is here. Now if it says that P is to the left of A. Now the position is already known. P is to the left of R. The position is already known. P is here, R is here. Why still they are saying left? So this indicates that the position of P should be the left side of R. This should be the left of R. So clockwise is left. When is clockwise is left? When the person is facing the center. So after finding the position, this will help us to know the direction which the person is facing. If the statement says the person is, P is sitting to the right of R. Already position is fixed. Why still this person is saying right? So now this will help us. This position should be the right of R. So when will this become the right? When he is facing away from the center. So this left and right, if this is given after the position is already known, it means that this will help us to decide the direction. Okay. Now, let us look at one more situation. Let us say we already know that it is given like this. P is to the right of R and also to the right of Q. But mind you, in circular arrangement, left and right are same as immediate left and immediate right. Okay. In linear arrangement, right does not mean immediate right. It can be anywhere on the right side. Left does not mean immediate left. But in circular arrangement, the left and right, they mean only immediate left and right only. Okay. Now we know the position of P here. It says that P is to the immediate right of R and also to the right of Q. How is it possible P is to the right of both the persons? It implies that the P and Q are facing different directions. So immediate right of P and immediate right of R and immediate right of Q, it's a clear indication that R and Q should be adjacent to P. Okay, so one of R and Q is going to be on this side and the other one is going to be on this side. But we do not know whether Q and R are here, but P's position should be to the right of this person here. So implies that whoever that person is, that person must be facing the away from the center. Similarly, we do not know whether R or Q, but whoever is sitting here again should be to the right of this person also. It should be the right of this person, this should also be right of this person. So when this can be the right of this person, that is anti-clockwise right of the person when the person is facing towards the center. So these are the statements which will appear to be little complicated, but these are all the things that we come to know. This is how they help us to find the positions. It should be to the right of R and also to the right of Q. It implies that that person should be between those two R and Q, but should be to the right of both the persons. So that clear indication that they face different directions. One is facing the inward and the other one is facing outward. Okay. So we will go to the puzzle now. Directions for questions 1 to 5. 8 persons A, P, B, Q, C, R, D and S sit around a circular table, not necessarily in the same order. Some of them are facing the center and the rest are facing away from the center. Now in this puzzle, we do not know how many are facing the center and how many are facing away from the center. So while building up the entire positions, we should also simultaneously find out who are all facing the center and who are all facing away from the center. R and the person who is 2 places away from S face each other. 2 places away means what? 1 in between. But is it to the right side or left side? That information is not there. P and A sit adjacent to each other. P and A sit adjacent to each other. Whether P is to the right of A, left of A, again that information is not there. And one of them is to the immediate right of Q and the other one is to the immediate right of R. So it is immediate right of Q and immediate right of R. But different person. One of them is to the immediate right of Q and the other one is to the immediate right of R. B does not sit adjacent to S but sits second to the right of P. But one more thing. Here what is right? Right side and left side. So what do this right and left sides mean? We do not know anything. Maybe clockwise, maybe anti-clockwise, because we do not know whether the person is facing the center or away from the center. That clarity is not there. So without knowing which direction P is facing, we will not be able to know whether the right is to the clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. So we should know the direction. And sits third to the left of A. Again, left of A also we will not know unless we know the direction. S neither faces P nor to the immediate right of D. Exactly one pair of adjacent persons is facing the center. So this is one of the very important clues that will help us to get to a unique solution. Adjacent persons sitting in the adjacent positions. Exactly one pair of adjacent persons are facing the center. So after arranging all the 8, we should find that only 2 adjacent persons are facing the center. Another 2 should not face the center, adjacent. C and R are not adjacent to each other. Mind you, adjacent persons, exactly one pair of adjacent persons is facing the center. How many pairs are facing away from the center? It can be any number. There is no restriction on that. So the information, entire thing appears to be we don't have the complete information. But now we will start solving. You will realize that it goes such a smooth manner if we follow step-by-step way of solving it. And generally in the bank exams, the statements are given in a, if you take the statements one after the other, we come to the solution. But whenever there is a necessity to take 2 arrangements, if you think that 2 arrangements are possible, immediately draw the second arrangement also. If more than 2 arrangements are required, don't go for that. Club 2-3 statements and bring it down to 2 arrangements. Okay, we'll start with the first statement. R and the person who is 2 places away from S face each other. So we will, and what is the advantage in circular arrangement? We can take the first person anywhere on the circle. In linear, we cannot take the first person blindly wherever we like. But in circular, we have that advantage. Okay? Let us go onward. R and the person who is 2 places away from S face each other. When is it possible when they face each other? When both of them are facing inward, then only they face each other. Okay? So this face each other is also indirectly telling us that both face center. This is the meaning of facing each other. Okay. We will take the first statement. R and the person who is 2 places away from S face each other. So R and the person here, they face each other. But who is this person here? He is the one who is 2 places away from S. So there is one more between this person and S. But what is the thing that we have here? It is not given one place away towards left side or right side. So there are 2 possible cases that we need to consider. So let us draw one more diagram. R here, the person opposite to him is, they are facing each other. But this person must be, there should be one person between this person and us. So maybe yes, this is on this side, there is one between them, or yes can also be the other side. So we'll take this as on the other side. Then also there is one between these two. Why are we trying 2 arrangements? Because this statement does not tell us whether it is towards left or right. Okay. Now we will continue with this arrangement. We'll try to fill both of them simultaneously. P and A sit adjacent to each other, and one of them is to the immediate right of Q and the other one is to the immediate right of R. Okay, let us understand this statement carefully. First, P and A are in adjacent positions. So, P and A, they should be in adjacent positions. But mind you, the positions can be interchanged. Maybe A is here, maybe P is here. This statement does not tell us whether P is to the left of A or right of A. So, we have to consider both the cases. And one of them is to the immediate right of Q. Now, what is the right of Q? We are not sure because we do not know whether Q is facing the center or away from the center. But here, immediate right of Q implies that one of them is adjacent. This word immediate indicates that they are in adjacent positions. So, one of these two should be adjacent to Q. And the other one is to the immediate right. The other one is to the immediate right of R. Again, we are not sure about what is right of R without knowing which direction is R is facing. But this immediate indicates that adjacent. So, one of these two should be adjacent to Q and the other one should be adjacent to R. So, it implies that Q and R, they are on either side of P and A. Maybe R is this side, Q is on this side. Similarly here, QR are here, R are Q here. It all depends on which direction they are facing. So what we need is that this Q, A, P, R, these 4 should be in 4 consecutive positions. Okay, let us find. Because R is already in the arrangement, we'll try to take. So we cannot take R, A, P, Q on this side because already we have S here. So it has to be R should be here, Q should be here. Between them, we should have A and P. But which among A and P is adjacent to Q, that we do not know. So we have to keep these possibilities. Here also, R should be here, Q should be here, and A and P should be in these 2 positions. Okay. Now we got the position without using the word right, by using this word immediate, that it is adjacent, we got the positions of Q and R, A, P. Now it says that, so the person here, whoever it is, whether A or P, should be to the immediate right of R. So this position should be immediate right of R. When this will be the immediate right of R? When R is facing away from the center. But in this case, R is facing the center. So this case is ruled out. And in this case, this should be the immediate right of R. Yes, this is the immediate right of R because R is facing towards the center. This case, this is not right. This is actually left. So here in this case, it is right. Fine. And the other one of them is to the immediate right of Q. So this should be to the immediate right of Q. So this should be the right of Q. That is, clockwise is right. When will clockwise be right? When the person is facing away from the center. Okay. So we already got the position of Q basing on the word immediate. Now basing on the word right, we found that this is away from the center. Okay, now we have used information till here. But still we are not sure about the exact positions of P and A. Now we are not going to consider this case. This is ruled out. B does not sit adjacent to S. So we cannot take B in this position, nor we can take B in this position. Now, where is the position available for B? We already have R here, ARP, PRA, Q. So this is the only place left for B. B does not sit adjacent to S, but sits second to the right of P. What do we mean by second to the right? Second to the right means between B and P, there should be only one person, second to the right. But what is the right of P? We are not sure without knowing the direction which P is facing. But one thing that we know that there should be one person between B and P because it should be second. So with the help of this second, now we can say that P has to be here because between B and P there should be only one person. When P is here, A must be here. Now using this second to the second, we found that P has to be here. But where should we be second to the right of P? Now already position is fixed. So now this should be the right of P. B should be towards right of P. When will the anti-clockwise direction be the right? When this person is facing towards the center. Okay. And implies that we are talking about B. B sits third to the left of A. Third to the left of A means there should be, let me erase some of the information which we have already used. Third to the left of A. Third to the left of A means B and A, there should be two persons between them. Okay. Basing on the third to the left of A, we will fix the position. Between B and A, we have two persons between them. But if you check from this side, it can also be 4. But it says third to the left, so we will consider only this 1 and 2. But what is that we have to ensure that should be left of A. So this should be from A to B. From A to B, this should be the left of A. There should be two persons between A and B. But B should be to the left of A. So this direction should be the left. Anti-clockwise direction should be the left. So when will the anti-clockwise direction be the left? When the person is facing away from the center. Now look at the tricky part of these statements. Third to the left, immediate, all these are helping us to find the positions, not this right and left. In a normal puzzle, when all of them are facing the same direction, this right and left will help us to find the positions. But in this case, they may sometimes help us to find the position, sometimes they help us to find the direction. Because without using this left and right, we have already fixed the positions. So this left and right are only helping us to find the direction in this case. Okay. Now we have used the information till here. Now, yes, neither faces P nor to the immediate right of D. So yes, neither faces P implies that yes should be facing away from the center. Not to the immediate right of D. Now be careful. Yes is not to the immediate right of D. So this statement does not mean necessarily that S is not adjacent to D. No, it does not mean that S is not adjacent to D. Yes, may be adjacent, may not be adjacent, but if S is adjacent, should not be to the right, should be to the left side, can be to the left side. Okay, don't get confused with this statement. Don't think that they should not be adjacent to each other. They can be adjacent, but S should not be to the right of D. S can be to the immediate left of D. Now here, what are the possible places for D? D can be here, D can be here, because all other positions are filled. And again, if you take D here, we have to ensure that this becomes the right of D. Or if you take D here, we have to ensure that this becomes the right of D. So as of now, both the cases are possible. So let us not draw one more arrangement. We will take more information to further eliminate these cases. Okay, we will come back to not to the immediate right of D. We will come back to this. Exactly one pair of adjacent persons is facing the center. So exactly one pair of adjacent persons is facing the center implies that since this person is facing the center, and okay, one pair, we should not have more than one pair sitting adjacent. So this statement also will keep aside. We'll come back to this. C and R are not adjacent to each other. So what is the possible places for C? Only these two are remaining. But C cannot be adjacent to R. So this is a place for C and the remaining place is for D. Now we have to find the directions which C and D are facing. Now, what are the clues remaining? This one we did not use. Exactly one pair of adjacent persons are facing the center and not to the immediate right of D. So, yes should not be to the immediate right of D. So now, already D and S are in adjacent positions. So, this should not be the right of D. So, this should become the left of D. When will this be the left of D? When D is facing the center. Okay, now we got the direction of D. Now we have to decide upon the direction of C. How do we decide? What is the remaining clue? Exactly one pair of adjacent persons is facing the center. Now we already have one pair of persons facing the center. So there cannot be a second pair of persons facing the center. So since this person is facing the center, C must be facing away from the center. So this how this statement is helping us. So now we got all the positions. S, D, R, A, P, Q, B, C. S is outward, D is inward, R is inward, A is outward, P is inward, Q is outward, B is inward. Okay. With this arrangement, we will answer the questions. The same arrangement here. R inward, D inward. So R inward, D inward. S outward, C outward, B inward. S outward, C outward, B inward. S outward, C outward, B inward. Q outward, P outward, P inward, A outward. Q outward, P inward, A outward. Okay. Who sits second to the right of D? D is facing inward. Right is anti-clockwise direction. Second to the right of D is A. That is choice 3. Who sits 4 places away from A? 4 places away from A. 4 places away, is it towards left or right? We do not know. 4 places away means there should be 3 in between. But when there are 8 persons sitting around the circle, 3 in between implies that they will be in opposite positions. Now let us check that. Is it correct or not? A is here. We do not know 4 places away, left or right. We are not sure. So we will check both the cases. If we check in the anti-clockwise direction, 1, 2, 3. This is a person 4 places away from here. If we check in the clockwise direction, 1, 2, 3. Again the same person. So when there are 8 persons around the table, 3 in between means opposite positions. So it is C. That is choice 4. How many more number of persons are facing away from the center when compared to the number of persons facing the center? So facing center, let us count. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are facing away from center? The remaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many more are there facing the center? None. 0. So option 1. Which of the following statements is or true? See, we have more than one of the above as an answer choice. So if you find one statement is true, immediately don't mark it as an answer. R sits opposite B. True. S sits 2 places away to the right of R. Now S is here, R is here. 2 places away is okay. But is it right or left of A? R is facing the center. When R is facing the center, this is clockwise direction. Clockwise direction becomes left. So this statement is false. P faces the center. Yes, this is also true. So it should be more than one of the above. 4 of the following 5. So this is odd man out question. 4 of the following 5 are alike in a certain way based on the given information and hence form a group. Find the one which does not belong to that group. Okay, let us check what is about C and B. C and B, they are in adjacent positions. We have to write down all the attributes. We do not know on basing on which attribute we are going to answer the question. We are not sure. Adjacent, opposite directions. R and A, adjacent, opposite directions. The question may be based on positions or it may be based on directions. Unless we write down, we will not know basing on which we can choose the odd one. S and D, adjacent, opposite positions. C and S, adjacent but same direction. Both are facing outward. C and Q, C and Q, not adjacent and same direction. Now we have to answer basing on either this or either this. So if you choose one, we should be in a position to find 4 common, 1 is not common. But here 3 are in one type, 2 are in one type. So this logic will not help us to find the odd one out. And here 4 pairs are adjacent, but the 5th pair is not adjacent. So choice 5 is the answer, C. Thank you for attending this session. All the best to you.